Hey, it's me, Dax Moy from Dax Fit Life, back with another short video, or at least I hope it'll be short. You know what my tendency is to say, hey, this is going to be short, and it turns into something really long. And I've just done it again with introducing it that way. But hey, let's just crack on. Here's what I want to talk about today. I've been getting a lot of messages, a lot of questions from people that say, hey, Dax, why is it that every time I'm feeling crap, I have a tendency to go for the crap foods that intellectually, if you ask me, I know are not going to serve me. I know they're taking me further away from what I say I want to accomplish with my diet. But I can't seem to help it. I seem to go into autopilot, and before I know it, I've got cookies or cakes or ice cream or whatever it is, bread. I seem to go for these things. What is that all about? What the hell is that all about? Look, the reason we eat crap and what we now deem to be crap is partly because of a neurobiological process that essentially kind of comes from neuroscience. So it says what gets fired together gets wired together, and what that means is that two things that occur simultaneously over a repeated timeline generally tend to meld together, so that whenever you do one, you will always kind of do the other. They're like a program that runs automatically. Okay, so think about this from the earliest time, literally from the moment you were born, like literally from the moment you were born. You had this kind of firing and wiring of two very direct concepts. It was, I'm in distress, I've started to cry, okay, or I need my diaper or nappy changed, or kind of I've fallen over and I've grazed my knee. One of these things happen, but let's take it right from the very first minute. You've just been born, you start to cry. One of the first things that happen immediately after that is something along the lines of a hug and a breast in your mouth, okay, or a hug and if you're being bottle fed, right? But essentially it's this. Comfort comes pre-packaged alongside something sweet and sugary and usually warm. Okay, that was kind of the initial firing and wiring. Okay, so comfort plus something sweet and sugary. Now, as we grow, kind of, you know, every single signal for us being in discomfort, when a baby can't actually communicate, when it can't speak, crying is the usual trigger for I need something addressed, like my nappy or diaper is full, I'm hungry, I'm uncomfortable, I'm too hot, I'm too cold. And usually, like, one of the first things that a mother or father will do is come along, cuddle the baby, feed them, give them some, you know, that would normally be the go-to for everybody, right? The very first thing we try is, okay, stick a bottle in the mouth or stick a breast in their mouth, give them some sugary sweet love. Okay, so that's essentially where the firing and wiring occurs, and this continues through childhood, so that whenever you kind of fall over, you graze your knee, somebody steals your toy, you get really upset, you go to mum. What does mum do? She gives you a hug. After that, normally rewards you with a cookie or something sweet or a bit of candy or whatever it is, and again the firing wiring becomes complete and it becomes addressed. And across the course of our young lives, this happens hundreds, if not hundreds of thousands of times. Okay, so of course, firing and wiring of I'm feeling crap, let me look for something sweet is actually natural. So look, here's the thing, a lot of people have been told that they're weak-willed and they don't have, you know, they don't have the willpower, or they don't want it bad enough. Just understand, you have been actually trained. Okay, from a nervous system perspective, you have been trained to do this, and that is absolutely fine. It's not a bad thing, it's actually a good thing. But the trouble is, you know, now that once we're adults, once we are cognitive, once we can think our way through things, it behooves us to actually say, hey, am I really under threat, and is this something that food can take care of? You know, kind of, am I running to mummy's breast? Because it's a metaphor for that's what this is, right? You're running to mum's breast, or you're running to the bottle to actually have the comfort come back. When you understand this, and you can start working your way through the identification pattern that threat is on the horizon, that stress is on the horizon. There are choices that you can make. Okay, so it's been fired and wired, but we've got to understand that there are warning signs. You don't suddenly just wake up and suddenly everything in your day is crap, right? And suddenly people are shouting and screaming at you, and suddenly everything's going. We move ourselves into environments where that's likely to happen. Okay, once we're in those environments and you're going, well, damn, I've got to have this chocolate, and I've got to have these things. That is a pattern that's 9 times out of 10 is going to run automatically. But if we actually stand back and if we actually observe that I'm moving onto the edge of stress, and in advance we know, okay, and when I move into stress, when I move into threat, there's a tendency for me to then cheat on my diet. I'll use the term cheat at the moment. In later videos, I'll talk to you about that. But there's a term for us to cheat on our diet, or there's a term for us to just make these irrational decisions, like I would give anything to get slim, but by the way, I'm going to go and eat that packet of donuts. Okay, the two things don't correlate, but they don't have to correlate, because in your brain is just seeking comfort. Okay, so what can we do about that? Well, as we start to feel the threat, as we start to feel the stress start to build up, it's at this time that we can start to do the things that are going to kind of tell the brain, hey, do you know what? It's all okay. You don't need to go running for mummy. Okay, some simple things. Literally wait 10 minutes. If you get a craving for something sweet, if you get a craving to go and kind of eat something, or to go and comfort yourself with food, wait for 10 minutes. And if you can't wait for 10 minutes, wait for 5. And if you can't wait for 5, well, bloody well, wait for 1, right? But just wait. Don't give in immediately to that craving, right? Wait. Hold it off. While you're waiting, relax. Take some deep breaths, right? It's weird, all this kind of motherly wisdom down through the ages, but the whole kind of breathe into a paper bag thing. Well, I'm not suggesting you do that in the middle of your office, but essentially all that was a control mechanism to get you to slow down, to get you to breathe, to get you to focus on something else. Focus on your breathing generally tends to calm you down. Okay, so focus on your breathing. Breathe, relax. And while you're in that process, before you moved into the full-on threat, which is just purely instinctive and you're snatching at food, before you even get there, start to ask the question, what else could I eat? Okay, what else could I eat? Okay, so if you start to focus and start to question the process, what else could I eat? That may actually take you back into, A, it might take you into a calmer place, but B, it may actually delay this timeline again. So you may find that you've now got another 10 minutes to think about, well, am I really as stressed as I thought I was? Or, okay, I've come off the boil, I'm not as stressed, but I can still feel it there. Continue the breathing, continue relaxing. As you feel the stress build up again, go through the process again. Okay, I'm going to wait 10 minutes. I'm going to breathe. I'm going to relax. While you're breathing and relaxing, actually, another thing that's really, really useful for you to do, and it doesn't have to be outrageously conspicuous, and it sounds weirder than it is, but touch yourself. Like literally have physical contact with yourself, right? Again, fired and wired, comfort. A lot of people they bury their emotions, they slam everything down and kind of pretend that nothing is hurting them and nothing is upsetting them, and inside they're crying, okay? Literally, like give yourself a hug, or at least at the very least, kind of be in physical contact with yourself. Touch your skin, okay? Touch your face, close your eyes. In later videos, I'll actually show you some really simple, easy relaxation techniques, but there are a few simpler than palming your eyes, closing them, breathing slowly for 3 minutes, even 3 breaths, right? Just breathe slowly, make physical contact with yourself, relax, and you should find that actually the craving has passed, or at least the panic that's inducing the craving has passed, okay? So there's a lot more I can say about this, but I promised to keep it short, and I'm already at about 8 minutes, so I'll make some more videos on this. But I would love to hear your feedback on this, and I'd love to hear what this story, right? Let's just call it a story for now. What this story of the firing and wiring and the running for mummy's breast and everything else, what does that do for you? What does that do in your mind? What place does that take you to in terms of maybe some of the guilt and the powerlessness you've been feeling around your craving, about feeling weak? Because the intention here is to help you see that this isn't a case of fault or blame or weakness or not wanting things bad enough. This is just simply a case of your brain saying, hey, what have I done 10,000 times in the past? I ran to mummy, okay? And that's essentially, this is a metaphor for exactly that. When you run for those foods, you're running for mummy. So I would love to hear your feedback on this video. Do pay attention to it. It's a life changer once you can actually absorb this information. In later videos, I'll be giving you some actual techniques to head this off a little bit more, but I just wanted to share the concept with you just now. So I look forward to hearing your responses. You take care.